Feels like I've been working on the garden nonstop since I got the fence up. So, and it's getting it's the hottest it's been this year. We're about to get hitting into the early summer, shall we say? So, I try to get as much done as I can in the morning, but around noon it starts to get pretty warm. Today it was overcast a little bit. You can see it's not as bright as it normally is, so that was really nice. I worked longer. I think I worked till maybe 1 or 2. And we're almost done. I think I have maybe 10 more plants. But I just did 7 and needed to take a break and came up to the campsite, and I still don't have all my gates working as I want them to. And I just got to the grocery store and I found that the pigs had gone into my grocery bag, which was a cotton mesh tote, and ripped out the $7 stick of butter and the $3 coconut water and just like I just watched $15 go down the drain. So that was frustrating. I mean, it's not that much money. It's just going to the grocery store is it's another errand, and I want to get stuff done here. I don't want to go back to the grocery store. So feeling a little frustrated that I haven't gotten the infrastructure right, and it feels a little slow since I did have that gate up a while ago. But then I transferred the gate hardware to the other gate so that I could get the garden protected, because that's the most important thing for me right now. So that is the priority, and I should remember that. Just freaking pigs. I mean, I just fed them the restaurant scraps, so they had just eaten, and and I did that on the other side of the road, and they crossed the road, got into my bag. I don't know why I didn't put it in my camper. It was so dumb. Oh man, but that's fine. At least there wasn't a steak in there or something that I was going to eat for dinner. Like, that would have really sucked. But the garden is almost done. Just posted a little video of it, and it's so exciting. The watermelon is already bursting out, which is so cool. It's already like, overnight I saw it grow, which was very rewarding. Some of the things are still struggling. A lot of them were root bound, a lot of the starts. So I think, next time I really want to schedule everything better, because I started everything with no garden in place, right? So I had to keep them in their little containers for a lot longer than they wanted to be. And I think, having a better schedule will be important, especially for succession planting. This is my first time gardening in the desert, and I know that, I don't know, but I've been told that in June and July it gets so hot that nothing will grow. You just have to keep it alive so that when it cools down, the plants will light up again and start to flower and fruit and all that. So I see little baby tomatoes on some of those tomato plants. I even saw a little baby watermelon on one of the watermelon starts, which was weird. So I think they're all ready to go. Everyone's ready to grow and then to flower and to fruit. So I believe there's 70 to 80 plants in there. I counted 55 yesterday. Very exciting. This is the biggest garden I've ever had. I'm just going full force on this. I've really been a lot happier when I'm gardening. And I find that it's something I look forward to, and I can't say that about many things out there, many activities, that we consider work. So the fact that I'm just out there at 7 a.m. digging holes and laying manure and planting starts is fun. It's great. I'm having a good time with it. And nothing's eaten the starts yet. Nothing's munched on the leaves. We'll see how long that lasts. I might preemptively spray some of these with maybe some sort of natural, like homemade garlic spray, something. I don't know. I have to look more into that, but I really don't want the plants to get destroyed by, a hungry pack of grasshoppers or something like that. Or the birds. I've heard the birds can really get at your stuff, and the rabbits. So we'll see. I live really, right now, I live really close to the garden. I can see it from here. It's maybe 75 feet away. So I don't know if that helps or not, me being close in regards to some of the predators that would hit the garden. But it's going to be so much fun. I mean, I'm growing stuff that you can't buy in the store. I've never had it before. It's interesting varieties of cantaloupe and melons and cucumbers. So, especially after the pigs ate my cucumber, it's going to be so nice to have fresh produce growing right there. I'm really hoping. I talked to some other people about the shade component, though, and I think I'm probably going to preemptively add some shade there. But I have some interesting ideas about how I could do that. I'm using cattle panel as a trellis, and I'm using that for the watermelon, I think, and the cantaloupe, and the squash, and maybe the cucumbers. But I only bought 2, and the garden's about 40 feet in diameter at the widest point. So the cattle panel are 16 feet each, so that's 32 feet. So that leaves about, obviously 4 feet on each side, which would be great because that's where I enter the garden, is through one of those, through the edge of the 40-foot diameter of the circle. And so I'll need space there, so maybe 6 feet there and 2 feet on the other side. But I was thinking about having those panels sitting, vertically and just staking them up. And so that would only be about, I think it's about 4 feet high, maybe 5. And so everything would grow over, and I was thinking, it could grow over the trellis and onto the other side. And then I thought, what if I bought more cattle panels and took them from the top of those cattle panels that are sitting like this and put them on top like that, going up to the bluff, and then growing things to create, so the plant would start here, then it would go up, and then it would go over, and then if it was really going to grow that long, it would then go onto the bluff, which I actually don't want, because that's, anybody could access that. It's not fenced in, right? So I'm going up to the next terrace of the property. But I thought that would be interesting, because then I could have, after a certain point, I would be able to walk underneath that and have my own shade structure. So those plants could be the shade structure instead of me buying plastic. I hate plastic. People give me ideas for things with plastic, and I cringe. I really don't like using plastic. It's most of it degrades within a few years, or it breaks easily, or whatever. I don't want plastic. So a lot of those shade panels are going to be made of, some sort of plastic derivative. But, I'm trying to figure out that balance of compromise. But I don't want to keep replacing things. I just hate having to buy stupid plastic things over and over again because they break, because it's really not a permanent solution. So we'll see about this trellis thing. I'm not sure if those plants would take that heat. Maybe it's a loofah gourd I put over there, because and Malabar spinach and things that maybe like the heat more than the other. Maybe compared to the cucumber. I'm also going to try Armenian cucumber this year. That's supposed to be more heat tolerant than other cucumber varieties. So maybe that would work. But anyway, it's just an idea. Also, that shade that it would create would also then shade the plants over here from that afternoon sun or early evening sun as well. So I think that could be a very cool thing to do. We'll see. Check out the other video if you want to see the beginnings of the garden and its first couple days.